I was never the jealous type, never had a reason to be. When you marry someone like Lena, the kind of woman who looks at you like you're the only man in the world, you don't sit around imagining betrayal. You count your blessings. We've been married 18 years. I met her when she was 23, just out of college with a degree in literature and a dream of becoming a writer. I was 28, working construction, running my own small crew. I wasn't some flashy guy in a suit, but I was grounded, focused. I wanted to build something real, a home, a life, a family. She said that's what she wanted too. We started small, a one-bedroom apartment, secondhand furniture, pizza on Fridays. She supported my crazy long hours, helped me sort receipts, kept my head on straight when work overwhelmed me. When I saved up enough to buy our first house, a modest fixer-upper, we poured our lives into it. She picked the tiles. I laid them. She painted the walls. I built the shelves. Every inch of that place had our fingerprints on it. I thought we were a team. But I learned something over time. Just because you build something with someone doesn't mean they won't burn it down. It didn't start with a bombshell. It started with shadows, subtle shifts. Lena had always been soft-spoken, present, grounded. But lately, she'd become elsewhere, distracted, smiling at her phone when she thought I wasn't looking, long showers with her phone always within reach. She started wearing perfume on days she didn't leave the house. I asked if something was bothering her. She'd smile and say, "No, babe, just in my head. You know how I get." And yeah, I did know. Lena could be moody, introspective. I told myself it was just a phase. But something inside me stayed unsettled. One night, I was working late in the garage. She didn't know I was still out there. I saw the kitchen lights flick on through the window. It was nearly midnight. She padded into the kitchen with her phone to her ear, laughing. A laugh I hadn't heard in months. Light, playful, flirtatious. That laugh wasn't for me. I didn't confront her that night. I just stood in the shadows, watching her lean against the counter, twirling her hair, saying, "You're bad," and biting her lip. She'd never once done that during our late-night talks. Something in me snapped, but it didn't explode. It crystallized, cold, focused. I didn't want drama. I didn't want chaos. I wanted truth. And once I had it, I'd decide what to do next. The next morning, I left for work like nothing was wrong, kissed her forehead, said I'd be late, but I wasn't going to work. I drove to the home improvement store, bought a set of motion-triggered mini cameras and a few discreet magnetic mounts. That evening, I told her I was installing security cameras around the house due to some recent neighborhood break-ins. She nodded, barely listening, eyes locked on her phone. Over the next few weeks, I placed 2 cameras inside, one in the living room, another in the hallway facing the front door. I synced them to a private cloud account. I didn't watch every day. I waited. The first week, nothing. Second week, something strange. A man's voice, brief, too far from the mic to catch clearly. Lena was in the frame, pacing, hair down, barefoot, glass of wine in hand. She looked nervous, but then she smiled. Third week, the truth landed. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was supposed to be at a job site 3 towns over. She assumed I'd be gone until late evening. Around 2 p.m., he walked in tall, athletic, mid-30s, yoga pants, and a loose hoodie. He hugged her at the door like they'd known each other forever. She kissed him. Not a shy kiss, not a testing kiss, a kiss full of history. He carried in a bag of takeout Thai food. I learned later. She giggled and said, "You remembered?" He said, "I always do." Then they sat on our couch, my couch, and fed each other food like teenagers. That was the day I stopped being in love with her. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I watched, hands clenched, heart hollowed out. I downloaded the footage, saved it. Then I started learning everything I could about this guy. His name was Tyler. He ran a local yoga studio called Soulflow, drove a hybrid, drank oat milk, and talked about energy alignment in his videos. I wanted to hate him. But what I felt was worse. I felt disrespected. Because this wasn't a man who could replace me. He was a soft talker with a six-pack and a spiritual mask. He didn't steal my wife. She gave herself to him. And for that, they'd both pay. The first thing I did was split our finances. Quietly, I created a separate account, rerouted my paychecks, and transferred just under $40,000, my personal savings she never knew about. I left enough in the joint account to keep things looking normal. The second thing I did was bait Tyler. I created a fake identity. Nick Bryant, an entrepreneur looking to open a chain of high-end wellness studios. I contacted Tyler through a burner account, told him I was a fan of his online content, and wanted to meet about a potential brand deal. His ego couldn't resist. We set up a meeting at a friend's luxury condo, minimalist, white marble everything, city view. I rented it for a weekend under my real name. Told Lena I had a last-minute business trip to meet a potential investor. She barely looked up from her phone when I left. Tyler showed up on Saturday at 11 a.m., smiling, confident, hair tied back, wearing a tight black t-shirt that screamed, "Try hard." I offered him espresso. We made small talk. He said I had a grounded energy. I smiled. Then I said, "There's someone I want you to meet." And I opened the bedroom door. Lena stepped out, expecting me. I'd told her to meet Nick there for a surprise. Said it was part of a couple's wellness event. She thought she was sneaking behind my back again. But the only surprise was her face when she saw me standing next to Tyler. She froze, eyes darting, mouth twitching. Tyler turned to her, then to me, his confusion shifting to panic. "You remember Lena, don't you?" I said, keeping my voice calm. She whispered my name like it would help. I gestured toward the couch. "Please sit." Neither of them moved. So I pulled out the tablet, played the footage, them laughing, kissing, him rubbing her feet on our couch, our dog watching from the corner, her moaning his name. Tyler paled. Lena collapsed into a chair. "You filmed us," she whispered. "No," I said. "You filmed yourself. You forgot the cloud sync on your phone." She covered her face. Tyler stood up. "Man, I didn't know." I held up a hand. "Spare me that. I didn't know she was married. Crap. I've seen the texts. You joked about me, about how clueless I was, how she had me wrapped." He didn't speak again. Then I dropped the final piece. "You should know," I said, turn to Tyler, "that your yoga sponsors, they got a copy of this footage, along with screenshots of your messages bragging about seducing married clients. Might want to check your email." Tyler turned pale, like ghost pale. He stammered something and rushed for the door. My friend, a former MMA trainer, just happened to be waiting in the hall, watching. Tyler backed.